Welcome to the Modernize or Die podcast, CFML News Edition, where we keep you up to date with everything going on in the ColdFusion community. We'll share the latest news on events, releases to engines, frameworks, libraries, and tools, as well as spotlighting quality content from the community. Welcome to the Modernizer podcast. This time you guys can see and hear us.
Woohoo, we're actually live this time.
Yeah, so we're up to episode 174. It's December 6th, and sorry everybody, we missed a button, so apologies for that.
But we've just been talking into the air for 5 minutes.
Yep, so I did say thanks for coming back, Eric. We missed you on here, and glad to have you back as a co-host again.
Yeah, thank you. Super glad to be back.
Okay, let's do this again. So thanks to our sponsor, Order Solutions, the makers of ColdBox, CommandBox, ForgeBox, TestBox, and all the other boxes out there. And you can say thanks to Orders in a few ways.
Yes, like and subscribe to these videos on YouTube. Help us by starring and forking our repos on GitHub. Subscribe to this podcast in your favorite podcaster app and leave us a review. Or signing up for a free or paid account on CFCasts.
Yep, and the Box Life Store is a great place to get some goodies for you or some friends. So ordersolutions.com/about-us/shop. And we have 2 books you can buy from Orders, the 102 ColdBox HMVC Quick Tips and Tricks on Gumroad, and then we also have the Learn Modern CFML in 100 Minutes, which is free online, or there's an ebook or paper copy which you can purchase from the Order Solutions site.
And hey, there's lots of fun swag on that Box Life Store, and 'tis the season to send a link to somebody that can buy you a little gift from that store.
It's a good idea for Secret Santas.
Additionally, we would be remiss to thank our stupendous Patreon sponsors. We have 43 Patreons providing 100% of the funding for this podcast, as well as 39% of the way to fully funding ForgeBox.io. Thank you so much to our Patreon supporters.
Yep, and one of our big Patreon supporters is Tomorrow's Guides, and they have a sponsored job announcement. So Tomorrow's Guide is a fast-paced leader in the UK care sector, catering to care seekers across 3 areas: care homes, nurseries, and home care. And they have a couple of jobs available for us, right? Which we'll talk about more in the job section, but you want to give a tease about those?
Yes, they have a senior ColdFusion developer as well as an automation test engineer. They are both UK-only jobs, but also remote. And we will give you more details later in our job section.
Yep. Okay.
So, Gavin, we've made it.
Yep.
we've been scraped.
Yeah, we're officially famous.
We found content for the Modernize or Die podcast on a different site, but it was called something different. What was it called?
Yeah, so I guess Modernize or Die wasn't cool enough, or maybe it was too offensive. So there's an Orders, the Orders way, and then there's a slightly nicer way, which is Update or Pass Away podcast.
So if you would rather have the rated G version of this podcast, Update or Pass Away, you can check out this scraper.
Yeah, and it's been scraping some other stuff too. It scraped Pete Freitag's thing about talking next week and whatever. Oh, actually, it was yesterday. But yeah, they also did another one on sequel, but half of the blog was missing, so I was really confused. So I don't know what it's doing or who runs it, but anyway. But yeah, so we also want to make sure everyone knows that the Adobe ColdFusion Fortuna Alpha is out there. People are signed up, they're using it in the pre-release, and there are special things happening which I can't talk about specifically in the emails that I got. So if you guys go sign up for the pre-release, then you'll be able to join the alpha, see what they're doing, and check out the cool content and things.
'Tis the season for the advent of code. This is a fun puzzle website, 25 days of puzzles. And in the CFML community, we have a couple of leaderboards. That's a place you can see who's completed what and compete if you want. I don't think I've ever competed in any of them because I just have fun doing the puzzles. But there is a CFML Slack one as well as a box team leaderboard. So we'll throw in the codes. Join, contribute at your leisure. It's just kind of a fun little puzzle exercise to do. So yeah, I've been thinking of trying to live stream them, but every time I do, I'm like, I have to get all ready, and I don't know. Yeah. So maybe one day you'll get this weird, like, hey, look, Eric did a live stream, because I probably don't have anybody following me.
I know, I do everything under Orders, so I don't do much under my one anymore. It's all like old soccer stuff when the kids were younger or something. But maybe I should clear all those out and start a fresh one. But yeah, I remember we did the code katas for a while there. We were even on site one time doing some code katas live and stuff. It was fun. I like that little stuff. It's tough. Tough to get on schedule. Like you say, you have to feel like you're ready, right? But anyway. Okay, just another reminder, the ColdBox Master Class is completely free until the end of the year up on CFCasts. So definitely recommend that one. Nolan did great. It was a great class by him. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And even if you're using ColdBox, there's some stuff in there you might learn. So go sign up. And I'll share the link here as well. And then next up, we have our new releases. So we just got one here. You want to tell them?
Yeah, in case you missed it, Lucy released Lucy 5.3.10. Lots of fixes in this release, so we're going to put the link in to show you all that. One of the most interesting, I think, is initial kind of still experimental support for CFconfig. So right now, if you wanted to use CFconfig, you'd need to use command box to handle importing the config file to your Lucy server, and Lucy is adding support to automatically import that JSON file. So if you're running this in a server that you're not using command box, you'll still be able to use all of that same config, which makes me happy and makes me also wish that Adobe would do that instead of making their own. Adobe, use ours, please.
Yeah, exactly. So it's cool to see that out there, and they're already working on the next version, and they're still working on 6. So we'll let you know when we find out more about that.
That's right.
Okay, webinars, meetups, and workshops. What do we got, Eric?
Well, this week on Friday, we have our book club. This is our Patreon-only book club, Ortus Software Craftsmanship. We're going through the Clean Code book by Uncle Bob, and our focus is on Chapter 2 this week, Naming Conventions, which is one of the 2 hardest things in programming, along with cache invalidation and off-by-1 errors.
Yep, I love that joke. But the funny thing is, not many people get it because they don't realize they're off by 1 too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we're gonna meet monthly on Zoom, and we use the Ortus community forum for the Patreons to discuss the book. So if you guys are Patrons, you can access the link that we're about to share. If you're not a patron, you can't. So go sign up at patreon.com/ortussolutions, and you get to do cool stuff like this live stream. And Adam, are you gonna be there this time, or are you gonna be drinking at the pub with your boss again, or your friend? I don't remember which one it was, but he didn't make the first week. But hopefully, apparently he just did a book club and did chapter 1 of Clean Code today. Well, if you missed the first chapter, we do have it up on CFCasts, which you can watch. So go check that out. We had a good discussion there. It was on Veterans Day, so there weren't that many people there. Hopefully we'll get a few more of the patrons this week, because naming conventions, like you said, it's really one of the hottest things, and there's a lot of great tips in there. So,
and the version on CFCast is available, this one to everybody, but you don't have to just be a Patreon subscriber to watch the CFCast version.
Yep, exactly. But we just want you to
don't
get excited.
Participate.
Exactly. So we want you to be excited, and you go sign up for a Patreon account. And we may open this up to everybody else eventually, but we thought we need to do some cool stuff with the Patreon. So this, and then the Coding with the Kiwi live stream, is some of the things we can do. Patreon only, so make it special. We're special.
So the Zoom link will be posted in the Patreon Slack channel and on the community forum. You can sign up at patreon.com/ortussolutions to join us.
Yep. And then we have an Ortus event calendar. Oops, I was taking your spot. So if you guys want to try and keep track of all our events, it's usually better up on the Ortus calendar there. It'll tell you when things are happening.
I'll be honest, I didn't know we had this, and I'm very glad now, because I had to miss some of these. So it is now subscribed in my calendar.
Yep, we had a few people recommend it because it's hard to keep track of everything, and I agree. And then we also have the ColdFusion security training by Pete Freitag, writing secure CFML with Pete Freitag from Foundeo. It's going to be next week, the 13th and the 14th, between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's a 6-hour total workshop. I've done this one before. It's really great. You work on a bank, and the cool thing is you see, what the issue is, you see how to fix it, and you also try to break it first, so it's kind of the whole process, and it's really good, and it's online, and if you can't attend it fully, it will be recorded so you can watch it later. But it's a great training, highly recommend it. It's $9.99. I think there's an $8.99 student discount, and you obviously missed the early bird because it's next week, so you guys can go check that one out. It's pretty cool. And then next up, we have our CFcast content, right?
That's right. So if you were one of the people who did not either attend in person or virtually to Into the Box this year, this week is your week because starting on Thursday, we're doing the 12 Days of Christmas with Into the Box 2022. We're going to be releasing groups of video every business day for 12 days, giving all of the Into the Box content to CFCast subscribers.
Yep.
So this is your week.
Yep. So starting Thursday, and we're going to try and group them so you get the JavaScript ones together, maybe some testing ones, some new products, and so we'll try and group them together and then release them day by day. So you can watch a couple of videos every day up until Christmas Eve. So I'm excited. I know everyone's been waiting for that.
Right.
But we have some more stuff coming in the new year too, right, Eric?
That's right. We're still looking forward to our ColdBox Elixir series, getting started with Content Box, and boxifying the third-party library. So look for those in the new year.
Yep. Okay, we're moving through. So, conferences. We do have ZF Online Summit, which is happening right now. And we've already had like 5 or 6 sessions, which are available. And Charlie wrote a blog post about it, but we'll give you guys a link too. If you look on their YouTube channel, they're posting the videos as they go, and they'll have a playlist set up later. But this week we have, I think, the next 3 or so in the next week or so.
Yes, the 3 that we have are mining electronic documents for fun and profit with Raymond Camden, below the surface web vulnerabilities hiding in your applications with Brian Riley, and exploring the AWS Java SDK developer features using CF Java by Brian Buckhold.
Yep, I saw the one from Brian Riley. It was really good. It was interesting, and he's actually updated a little bit from CF Summit. So if you did attend at CF Summit, he's actually improved it. He said he's been adding some more since there's been more vulnerabilities and updates from Adobe. So be cool to see.
Do you know what CF Java refers to, Gavin? Because I am not sure.
I don't know either. I'm wondering if, I'm not sure if it's a little library out there or if it's just talking about. I know that
Create
Adobe,
object Java.
Yeah, I know they've been trying to add more and more Java features to ColdFusion over the years, but I'm not sure. I mean,
I'd be interested in looking at that one just to figure out what that is.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, the AWS Java SDK is pretty cool. I know Brian Class uses it a lot for all of his stuff. I use the REST API usually because the Java SDK is like 350 megs, and if I'm using a ForgeBox version, I don't want to download that every time I install. So we use the REST one, but it is pretty cool. So lots of great features there. I like REST versus the Java verbosity, but that's me. But still interested in what he's doing there. So I posted the link for the CF Summit website, so cfsummit-online.meetus.adobeevents.com, so you guys can check that out.
Well, tomorrow, Into the Box Latam start, or I should say, happen. It's the one-day conference. There we have our feet on the ground with some of our Ortusians there right now, getting ready and setting up. 2 tracks, 1 set of sessions, and 1 set of deep dive workshops. Tickets are still available if you happen to be in El Salvador. But we wish them the best of luck for. Is this the 3rd Into the Box Latam?
Yeah, the 3rd one. A 2nd in person. I think they did a virtual one last year because of COVID, or maybe the year before. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's the 3rd one, but it's been really successful so far, and we're glad we can do it down there. And it's great to have some of the team from the US there, but also some of our Salvadorian team lead the way. So great. Okay, we also have Vue.js Amsterdam 2023. It's apparently the most special, the world's most special and largest Vue conference. So I'm not sure what that means, but it looks pretty cool. It's at the Theater Amsterdam, and it's going to be pretty cool. It looks like a really good conference, and you guys can check that out. It's the 9th and 10th of February, 2023.
I think the most special part must be the URL, because it's Vue.js.amsterdam, which that's pretty cool.
Yep, for sure. Okay.
All right. Dev Nexus is happening in April. So you can get your travel plans and book your accommodations now. April 4th through 6th in Atlanta. We'll throw the URL into the show notes. Do you know if we have anybody from Team Ortis that's been asked to speak yet?
I don't think they've announced any speakers as of
All
yet.
right.
Actually, I guess I should click and find out because there were quite a few orders people submitting. Usually Brad and Luis talk, but I know a few other people have submitted, and we're hoping that we can do it. Let me look at announcements. I'll share my screen for those watching, if it works. So we'll see if they got any announcements up here. The
Looks like
longest running and largest
can-
Java conference. Ooh.
Looks like you can still submit. Oh no, sorry. Submissions are closed, and they will let people know on a rolling basis and rejections by February 1st.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay.
Alrighty.
So, what do we have after that? Vue.js Live. So, Vue.js Live, it's the 12th and the 15th. The 12th is a live day. The 15th, I think, is the remote repeat. You can buy tickets for just the remote version or in person, and it's kind of cool. Some of the remote tickets actually let you participate live on the 12th, too. It's really complicated, to be honest. but the cool thing is,
it's not the world's most special. That's why.
yeah, maybe they're trying to be extra special by making it extra complicated. But 35 speakers, a lot of great speakers there. It looks really good, and all of the 2021 recordings online already, so you can go watch them as well. So pretty cool. And then up after that, May 17th through the 19th, 2023, we have Into the Box 2023, the 10th edition.
Woo! I
Yeah.
feel like there's got to be some special. What's 10 in anniversary years? Isn't it something special?
Probably. I don't know.
I'll look that up. We'll come back to
Yeah.
that. Anyways, held in the same location in the Woodlands as this last Into the Box. It's going to be excellent. That venue was so nice. The call for speakers is open. We will throw that blog post out there. We would love to have you submit your topics and come join us for the special 10th anniversary edition of Into the Box.
Yep, so the 10th
Which is
anniversary is meant to be
The
tin
tin
or aluminum. So,
or
So
aluminium.
I know. We'll give you an aluminium can, and then we'll teach you how to pronounce it the right way. But yeah, we are planning to do a little bit different things at the conference. So we're actually talking about having a second band in addition to the mariachi band. We're also I want to do a birds of the feather, like Chief Objective. So maybe we'll do some board games. We're going to play the Box Wars live, so we can play that. And then maybe have like a little hackathon set up. I want to do some Raspberry Pi hackathon stuff, but there's always fun stuff. So we want to make it like an evening, not just a dinner with music and then go back to your rooms and sleep. So let's make it exciting, make it fun, and enjoy it. So make it last. And then CF Camp is back. Woohoo! June 22nd through the 23rd in 2023. It's going to be at the Marriott Hotel Munich Airport, which is not at the airport. It's actually in Freising, not far away. But the call for speakers should be coming in the new year, and you can go look at cfcamp.org, which they'll be announcing more information as they get it. And we're excited, so make sure you get your passports ready. I got to tell my wife to renew her passport real quick, so we can visit there and maybe do a few other things on the way. So maybe we should.
And if you're still starved for conferences, Comps.tech has you covered. You can go ahead and search for any type of conference that you would like over on their website.
Yep. That'd be fun. Wonder if we should get a little group together. We can do some sightseeing before or after the conference. I want to go to Italy. I gotta check out my wife's family's town, Lucca. And then Pisa's just down the street, so we want to see a building falling over. So, yeah, maybe I'll stop for a drink with Adam in London as well. Okay, we're up to tweets, videos, and blogs of the week. I got that a little backwards, but first up, what do we got from Grant?
We got Grant with CBWire examples. So he's got a blog post walking through this new repo he has that will show you the power of CBWire in your applications. Looks pretty awesome. It helps you get started, see how forms work, template directives, and other advanced topics.
Yeah, I like the way that the example has like the result, has the view layout, and it has the component and then the template. So it shows all the different pieces together, so you can really see how it ties together. And he does mention a pro tip. Use your networking tab for your browser's developer tools to see how it's actually doing it. It's pretty slick. I'm really impressed with this. And to be honest, I love Vue and I love Quasar, but some of the CBWire stuff is really slick, and it might actually replace a lot of the need for most of the stuff we do with APIs and everything else. It is really pretty slick, and it's a great little example set there. And if you've got questions, bug Grant. He even puts his Twitter address up there, so jump on it, and then check out the repo. So really cool to see that. Okay, next up we have a blog from Ben Adele. And this one's an interesting one. It's a thoughtful one. So it says, I'm beginning to think that much of programming is wildly subjective.
Say it's not so.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I just need to be dramatic there.
it's okay. This pitch is pretty dramatic too, so I should be on this blog. But yeah, so, he's like basically a large portion of the community, himself included, feels that much that goes into programming is objectively good or bad. So we all have our hills where we're willing to die on, whatever, but, tabs versus spaces, Vim versus IDE, but basically he's like, basically they're right because that's why I made them. And, long story short, he's basically come to the conclusion that, they're all decisions and we're going to make the best decision for us, right? So, which, some people are like, no, you must do it my way or you're wrong. And other people, I feel like I'm personally at least like, you can do it whichever way you want, but if you don't have this information, you might not make the best decision. So I'm going to tell you why I think these are good reasons, and you can make your decision. So
yeah, I read a little subtext in the here of just more empathy for our fellow, programmers, or just really fellow humans. Just when someone makes a different decision than us, it doesn't mean that we have to berate them, even if it's something that we have gone down and made different trade-offs for based on our experience. We can still have empathy. So
yeah, and like I said, sometimes people can't do what you would do, and so I've got apps where I'm stuck in a certain way. It's there, like it or not, that's what we have to deal with. And so someone coming in and just berating us isn't really helpful to anybody. And like you said, better human beings, and that's what I strive for. I may not be the best. I have a lot of sarcasm in my voice sometimes, but it's a really long post, but it's really good. So I think it's a good read, and everybody should read that. So go check that out. And again, thanks, Ben. We love your blog, and that's one thing about blogs, right? That you get to share different ways, different opinions, and everything else, so we can all learn from it and then make our own decision. Hopefully, the one that suits us and our team best. Because if we listen to popular opinion, nobody would be using ColdFusion, right? Because it's dead. So.
Hey, speaking of features that are polarizing and subjective, Query of Queries is faster in Lucy.
Yep.
Brad has a blog post detailing how he did the improvements. Up to twice as fast, 200% faster, 100%. However, those percentages are supposed to work. You can read about it and see the graphs in his blog post.
Yeah, I want to show the graphs because it's interesting how he's improved it for Lucy, and the results are kind of crazy. Like looking at Lucy 5 and 6. But when he shows, there's a graph, and he's been tweeting about, shows some of the differences. Dang, this string concatenation is pretty crazy. But when you start looking at Adobe, like there's the Adobe's like operator. Look at that.
Yeah, which sounds like it could be very quickly fixed by saving the compiled Java regex. So
yeah,
we'll
exactly. So we're hoping Adobe pays attention here, because you can see query up to, in milliseconds up to 1 million rows. Like Adobe goes straight up off the chart. It doesn't even go horizontal anymore; it's vertical. So, but yeah, it's great work by Brad, and I believe Peter and Mary, one of our Patreons, is actually sponsoring this project, this work, and so we want to say thank you to him, because without him and other sponsors, a lot of our community actually sponsors certain things. They help us push things through, and we try and do as much as we can with open source, but sometimes those paid contributions make the difference. And this is an example of, some paid work, and Brad gets to, lock himself in a room for a while and come up with some pretty cool and great improvements. So, yay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so next up, we have a blog post, as we mentioned before. The CF Online videos are actually going to be online, and so Charlie released this on the Adobe ColdFusion portal. So where to find them, and so too long didn't read. The recordings of CF Summit are being posted on the Adobe CF Team YouTube channel, and we expect to see them other places, listing all the recordings for the event as a single playlist. So they do have that YouTube channel, so check out this link here to get to them. But yeah, it's one of those things. There's not a section on the portal yet, but on the event registration page, once you're actually registered, and I have registered, I don't know why it's telling me I haven't, but I'm hoping that they'll put them in here too to make it easy to find them if you're logged in. So thanks, Charlie, for sharing that information. Sometimes people miss that, but yeah, the YouTube channel should have everything, and hopefully they'll have a playlist soon. And I got to book my times too. I still got to do that so I can get mine out there. Okay, so find a job. So CFML jobs, we recommend using getcfmljobs.com. It scrapes a lot of great places, and you can see they've got 34 ColdFusion positions listed from 23 companies across 21 locations in 5 countries. That's since August 1st, so pretty good number. We got one job posted this week, right?
We have a remote ColdFusion developer in North Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And
then we have our special Patreon sponsored job announcement for tomorrow's guides.
Yep.
To remind you, they are a fast-paced leader in the UK care sector, catering for care seekers across 3 areas: care homes, nurseries, and home care. They are often called the TripAdvisor of the care sector.
Yep, and their product team consists of 20 individuals across the UK. They work remotely and in person by the sounds of some of their benefits. So they're trying to expand their offering with regular expansions in the team year over year. They work with ColdFusion 2021 as well as Node and React in the Azure cloud. They use both MS SQL and MongoDB databases, and they are looking for a senior ColdFusion developer and automation testers. And they said there is training paths to move to like skill up on Node.js as well. So if that's something you need, they can help you with that. And they have some pretty cool perks as well. But you want to tell us a little bit more about those roles?
Yeah, we'll throw some links in for some of these. There's a link to all the roles that they have available, but specifically, there's a senior ColdFusion developer. Minimum 3 years experience with ColdFusion, database design, normalization, and ability to write and understand complex SQL Server queries. They're using SQL Server 2019, and familiarity with Git and a flexible skill set across a wide range of development.
Yep.
The second specific position you're going to tell us about is the automation test engineer.
Yep. Again, this one's UK only, remote and permanent, and it looks like it's circa £40,000. But they're looking for someone with 3 years experience with automated testing, including testing tools such as Selenium, and then other things, the API test tools such as Postman and Fiddler, which I need to try Fiddler. I've never tried that one. But they got some great benefits too.
That's right. A £4,000 per annum discretionary company bonus scheme, 25 days annual leave and bank holidays, a 6% employer pension contribution, other free perks and discounts through PerkBox, long service awards, cycle to work scheme, and company and team nights out.
Yeah, so they can have a cycle to work scheme if they're all remote, so I'm assuming there is an office somewhere. But we also have a couple of other jobs, and Order Solutions is almost always hiring. I know we've been looking for some more members in our US team, and I think they're hiring in the European team as well. So good to see that there. And if you're looking for a job still, we can look on the CFML Slack team and the Box Slack team. They both do have job channels, so pretty cool. So next up, we have our ForgeBox module of the week, and this is one I've used lately and I really like, the Order PDF tool. So it's a Lucy extension made by Order Solutions, and yeah, it's done some pretty cool things for me.
Yes, this is one of our few paid extensions to Lucy, and this adds the ability to manipulate PDFs like what comes with Adobe. So you can do things like pre-filling PDF forms from a database, JSON, and even XML data. You can extract it to native CFML structures or flatten PDF files to lock in those form changes.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing with a client. We basically fill in all these forms, tax forms, and all these different things. We flatten it, and then we add a signature bit of text, and we send it off to PandaDoc, and then it emails them for signatures and everything else. So it's pretty slick. But yeah, basically this, like you said, when you're migrating from Adobe ColdFusion to Lucy, a lot of times people are missing those PDF tags, and so this provides that CF PDF form and the CDF PDF form param. Makes it really easy to work with that, and so it taps into all the under Java library, so you don't have to do it yourself. And again, it's up on ForgeBox, and I'll share my screen real quickly just to show you guys. So if you want to check it out, a lot of information on the PDF form and the form params, and it talks about some of the capabilities. So as Eric said, lots of options here, and it gives you some pretty cool things like this PDF form. Just give it a data struct, pop it in there. It works really well. I said, really happy with it, and it ties in nicely when you're using stuff like the S3 SDK, and you throw up throw the PDFs up on S3, and away you go. So highly recommend it. Really good. And then I really like it. I'm going to be using it for another customer here soon too. All this online signature stuff is pretty hot. So okay, VS Code hint, tip, and trick of the week. We have a new one. I've been doing lots of these funny ones lately, if you guys hadn't noticed, but this one I thought would be pretty cool. And the main
really
reason is
serious.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Brad has been asking for this for so long. He's been asking for a way to get Clippy into VS Code, and now you can do that.
That's right. We're talking about VS Code Pets, which puts a pet into your VS Code window that will run around, that you can play with, and it includes Clippy Jr.,
Yep.
which I guess Microsoft's okay with this because they put it in their marketplace. No
Maybe.
copyright strike.
Yeah.
So anyways, you can throw a little pet into your window and have it there. So if you don't have a pet at home already doing this in your actual office, you can have it on VS Code now.
Yep. That's pretty
My favorite
funny.
part is there's a documentation site for this. I thought it was just like, install and go. But no, because once you have your pet, you can change your pet, play with your pet, add additional pets, throw a ball, add themes. There's stuff. So enjoy a little bit of a distraction when you need it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny, and like I said, I don't know why, but Brad loves Clippy, and so I'm surprised that he hasn't got this one already installed. But anyway, so a bit of fun, but it's kind of cute. To be honest, my kids would probably code more if there was pets in there too. So, I don't
They'd
know.
at least have VS Code open more. I don't know if they'd code more.
That's a good question. Good point. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Okay, well, last but not least, we want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. As Eric said, they're stupendous, but they personally support us for our open source initiatives to ensure great products like CommandBox, ForgeBox, ColdBox, ContentBox, TestBox, and all the other boxes keep getting the continuous development they need, and this also funds our cloud infrastructure that the community relies on for ForgeBox and our package management with CommandBox. So you can support us up on patreon.com/ordersolutions. And there's a few ways and some few perks too, right?
Yeah, and first off, don't forget we also have annual memberships. You save 10%. It's end of the year, end of a lot of budget cycles. Great time to throw whatever's left in towards Patreon. Now, bronze packages and up, you're going to get a ForgeBox Pro and the CFCasts subscription as a perk. All Patreon supporters have a special profile badge on our website and access to their own private forum. There's a private channel on the Box Team Slack as well, and you get live access to streams like Coding with the Kiwi and Friends and the Order Software Craftsmanship Book Club. You can access all of those community perks as well on community.ordersolutions.com.
Yep. Before we read the names, I just want to make a comment. So, Adam Cameron said, "Isn't Mr. Wood basically Clippy Box? Anytime you mention CFML, he says it looks like you're doing something with CFML. Did you know CommandBox will?" And that's pretty true. If he does, if he's saying something on Twitter, and he'll pop up out of nowhere.
To lovingly tease Brad about it, yes, exactly. Twitter. If you say, I'm sure he has an alert somewhere in, Tweet Deck or whatever the thing is now, that if somebody says ColdFusion, he gets it. I'll see him respond to things. I'm like, where did you find this? Like this.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a channel for CFML and for ColdFusion because that's how I find all the stuff for the news. But yeah, I swear Brad must get it instantly notified on his phone or something so he can answer before they've even had a chance to finish their own sentence.
Yeah, you and I are looking through like hashtags for the news mostly. I think he just anytime someone says ColdFusion in any context, Brad gets an alert.
Probably. Well, you gotta love him.
Yes.
He's down in El Salvador right now getting ready for the Into the Box Latam, so he's not on here right now. But yeah, and he's definitely a loving tease, said Adam. Yeah, we know you. You're just a Kiwi. We just sound rough. Because if we're not insulting you, then we don't like you. Because we don't want to waste our time on you. So, anyway, so let's read our stupendous Patreons. So I'm going to start. So thank you, John Wilson from Sonatrix, Tomorrow's Guides, and Jordan Clark. And we also want to thank Gary Knight, Mario Rodriguez, Giancarlo Gomez, David Bellinger, Dan Card, Jeffrey McGee from Sunstar Media, Dean Maunder, Nolan Irk, Vil de Bruin, and Abdul Rahim.
Also, thank you to Don Bellamy, Joseph Lamery, Jonathan Perrette, Jan Yannick, Laxma Turtrahadi, Brian Gidanelli with Haggerty Motorsport Reg, Carl Von Stetten, Jeremy Adams, Didier Lesnicki, Matthew Clemente, Scott Steinbeck with Agri Tracking Systems, Daniel Garcia, Ben Nadell, Richard Herbert, Brett DeLine, Kai Koenig, Charlie Earhart, Jason Diger, Sean Odin, Ross Phillips, Matthew Darby, Edgardo Cabezas, Patrick Flynn, Stephanie Monkey, Kevin Wright, John Wish, Peter Ameri, Kevin Vanis, John Nessim, and Tia.
Yeah, so thank you everybody, all our Patreon supporters. Thanks everybody in the chat today. It sounds like we're having a good week. It is a short one, like we said. The holidays are coming in, so not quite as much stuff out there. But don't forget the Auto Software Craftsmanship Book Club on Friday if you're a Patreon. If you're not, please sign up. And if you do sign up, ping me on Slack or Twitter just so I can make sure we get you added to all the right places as soon as possible. And then Adobe has their CF Online Summit this week as well. And if you've got time, submit a session for ITB. We really want to see some new speakers this year. And we're trying to add more and more people to the speaking roster. And I can try and convince Luis to maybe open another room for a third track or something. We got some options. We want to make it bigger and better this year. So remember, speakers get some benefits too. They get some perks, including hotel stay. So yeah, sign up. But thanks everybody, and we apologize for the rewind, but you didn't miss much. So, okay. Well, thanks everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
See you later.
Bye. Show notes for this episode can be found at cfmlnews.modernizeordie.io, where you can also subscribe to your favorite podcast player like Spotify or iTunes. We also have the link to YouTube to find more videos just like this. The music used in this podcast is under a royalty-free license from Sound.com and Blue Tree Audio.